I am keen to catch up with our guest today. I feel it might be better for you to do his intro because you just do it so much better than I do when it comes to Pat.
I
So roll
mean, we
the
did it
baby.
together at Palooza, but
Oh,
we
we
do
did.
have Joey Jeremiah Esquire, the man, the myth, the legend, Pat Mastroianni on the show today.
See?
Join
hmm
us, just talk about all things Gen X, and because we grew up together, even though we didn't know each other until like 2016 or so.
So the beautiful thing about this chat is that we're not going to talk about all the questions that you tend to get at all the cons and from I'm sure people you even bump into in the street and all that fun stuff. We just want to talk about how you grew up, what you grew up with, what influenced you, how you were influenced. I mean, think back to when you were a kid. What kind of were you like? You had to be home to watch the Brady Bunch, or were you like, I have to go see the new Friday the 13th? What was, or were you like, ABBA has a new album out, I have to get that. What was your jam? Were you
ABBA
TV,
was the.
movie? Come on, ABBA's got great melodies. I don't care
Oh,
what
I
you.
know, I know.
What I remember of my youth, back in the late 70s, early 80s, definitely was a really shy kid growing up. Mainly because my parents constantly moved. They would buy a house, fix it up, because my dad was in construction, and he would flip it and make some money, and then work his way up the food chain in terms of upgrading his home. So I was constantly being introduced to new schools every couple of years. So I never had this foundation of close friends growing up with in elementary school. I was always the new kid showing up, and I was a lot smaller than most of the kids in my class, and I was always a target for bullying and getting picked on, and it was frustrating because I never got to build my confidence as a young kid. So I was very kind of secluded, and television became my friend. Comic books was a place I could escape. And I also had a job as a kid at my local convenience store, stocking the shelves and mopping the floor so that I
Sweet.
could make a couple of quarters to play pinball machines and arcade games that were inside the convenience store. That's how it was back in the day. And those three things were my life up until age 14 or 15. And again, I can go in more depth about it because television was an escape. I would go home, I would watch Happy Days, the A Team, oh my gosh, Laverne and Shirley. I mean, all the classic sitcoms, and it was things that my parents, who weren't very fluent in English at the time, they could relate to because it was physical comedy as opposed to
Right.
intellectual. You saw Jack on Three's Company fall down, and that was funny, right? It was slapstick. So I really got into this world of television at an early age, and it was something that I wish I could escape to. Where I was able to escape when I was a young kid was comic books, obviously. I would be able to lose myself, and I didn't have a very long attention span. I didn't read books growing up as a kid. I wasn't a brainy kid. I was kind of, a C student in school. But comic books, it was that 20-minute, diversion. It was quick, it was easy, and I was able to lose myself in this world that was created by Stan Lee because I was a Marvel guy, and Spider-Man was my hero because he was this quirky teenager that was funny, and
He was
he had
you,
this
but got bit by a
powers.
spider.
Love Spider-Man, right? So that was where I think my imagination started to flourish and grow, and again, it kind of segued into me wanting to be an actor because I didn't want to be who I was in my real life. I wanted to be something larger than what I was. And when the opportunity to audition for Degrassi came about, my parents were super supportive. I didn't think anything of it. It was just like, maybe I'll try, maybe I'll get in, maybe I won't. But it wasn't this life-changing decision that I thought I was making at the time. It was just, I did it on a lark. I was looking for an outlet, and it looked like a cool thing at the time because they dropped off flyers at our school. And I guess that's where the bug kind of bit me, where I wanted to pretend, I wanted to play, I wanted to invent a character and develop something because I was living already in this fantasy world of television and movies and comic books, and video games was just a way for me to I guess, fixate on something. Pinball machines, I loved it. I was always a big kid, and so even today, I collect things from the 80s, like the old Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Machine.
I
brought
had
props
Galaga
today,
when I was
so
little.
if you're watching this on video, you'll get to see some of the props I brought. But we're part of like I've said this at Palooza, Degrassi Palooza in 2019. I said we're the last of an analog generation. We're a tactile generation. We want to touch and feel things and hold things, where today's young people, or even today's generation, everything is on subscription. Your music, you go to Spotify, subscribe. You don't actually hold a CD or a record or a cassette tape. You want to watch a show or movies, you had to buy the VHS or the DVD or the Blu-ray. And now people are sort of going back to that.